Do you know what ableism is? Do you know why shame is attached to illness? By the end of this film, you will know the answers to these questions. People assume that being naked, being bare in the art world, is being nude. This, right here, me laying on a couch being administered an IV at home, is being bare. It is being naked. It may be thought that this, right here, is not a bare naked moment. It is a bare naked moment because there is so much shame attached to being sick. And there seems to be a shared messed up view of illness that we, the sick people, should keep to ourselves. I've never met anyone like me at university. No, I'm not saying that in the artistic sense. I'm actually saying that in the sense of physicality. I don't fit into the student box. I am not healthy. I am chronically ill. I've lived through 2 cancers, and I live with 3 rare diseases. I want to talk to you about how I am bare. Being bare is showing you something I don't want others to see. Being bare is being vulnerable. Experiencing life, living in the human condition, I've come to realize that shame is a huge part of it. Shame is centered around societal norms. Societal norms tell us we have to be fit and healthy to succeed, pumping an ableist narrative to the core of every being. I am sick of systemic ableism. Ableism is discrimination against disabled people. The world is set up to house able-bodied people and propel them forward. We are taught through messages in media being sick is being weak. It makes you lesser than. The odd time you hear a story of people overcoming obstacles, these people become inspiration porn to the masses. I do not believe in hiding one's illness away. Explaining illness while it's happening is vital. Showing people I am a person is crucial. And I know it's hard to relate to me because I'm in a neck brace and I'm wearing a mask. But my mask protects me. Not only because of COVID-19, but because I live with something called mast cell activation syndrome. Mast cell activation syndrome can cause my throat to close from fragrances. Now, mast cell activation is one of my rarities, and it is a doozy. My body can close my throat at any point because of something it thinks is a threat. In other words, my body is on high alert. My body thinks I'm allergic to a lot of the outside world. Masks protect me in more ways than one. We all wear masks anyways, literally and figuratively. But the purpose of this is to show having a chronic illness should not be shamed. People who are chronically ill are subjected to ableism. Ableism needs to stop so that people like me can be treated as equals. I can speak for myself when I say, I don't want to be babied. I don't want to be treated like I need a babysitter. Even though at times I may need a helping hand, my faculties are still intact. I am a university student. I am literate, and I deserve to be treated with intellectual respect. The person you see here, laying here, getting something they need so that their body can thrive is not being weak. It's being honest and blunt about the harsh realities of life that sometimes makes other people feel uncomfortable by broaching the topic. I did not cause my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It is something I was born with, a connective tissue disorder that causes neck instability, frequent dislocations, sluggish gut, and loads more. Hyperadrenergic postural orthostatic tachycardia is complex and goes hand in hand with mast cell activation syndrome. I am not a doctor, but I am a patient, educated in the ways of my illness from living with it. HyperPOTS, for short, can cause stroke high blood pressures. And for me, that is a blood pressure of 220 over 110. For scale, regular blood pressure is 120 over 80. My blood pressure is on the high side, but I also experience low blood pressure, which hovers around 80 over 40. I'm on a plethora of medications. They keep me going, They are palliatively treating the symptoms, not curing them. Being bare means being vulnerable. It means showing people the uncomfortable parts of yourself. I'm saying it's okay to be vulnerable. I may get hurt, but fuck it. I'm going to do it anyway. Diseases do not have to be isolating. Diseases should be unifying. I am more than my illness. I am an artist, a writer, a dreamer, a student, a patient, an advocate, an activist, and most of all, a person. First and foremost, a person. One thing that we all have in common is we are all human. The human condition is called a condition for a reason. Let's practice a little more self-care and external care for others, our fellow humans. If you were to see me on the street, without my neck brace, not hooked up to an IV, you may think I'm healthy because of what I live with. It doesn't make me look sick. One of my conditions is a blessing and a curse. Diseases don't discriminate like people do. Diseases can touch anyone at any point in any part of the world. You can be isolated by disease at any point because the journey to getting any diagnosis is tumultuous. It is filled with self-advocacy, self-care, and sometimes people leaving. Isolation and illness, abandonment, ableist intent. People may not correlate these words with being sick. We are told in Hollywood and other media that everyone around the person who is sick will come together, band together, will help them and hold them up and love them through it all. The reality of that isn't true. We see them all the time. People getting better from whatever ails them within film. Sometimes people die, but the narrative is they're loved and respected and cared for. Every now and then, some of the truth seeps through the cracks of the Hollywood glamour. Isolation, ableist comments, the hardships of shouldering a diagnosis alone. People leaving because they can't handle the truth, because they can't handle the weight of your illness. Society tells you that you should get better. You get a cold, you get better. You get a flu, you get better. You get a chronic illness and oh, wait, you don't get better? You don't get better, so you're complaining if you talk about what you're going through. This right here is the most annoying thing I have ever heard. Being heard is vital to feeling less isolated. Again, ableism comes into play here. Telling someone they are complaining when they are talking about their journey is sheer ableist mentality. Ableism isn't okay. Treating anyone as they are lesser than is not okay. We all struggle. In reality, illness will touch everyone's lives. It is a part of the human condition. You cannot escape it. Putting emphasis on the goal of being healthy is something that is unattainable to people with poor health. Why not put emphasis on the human experience, the human condition, or being a part of the human race? We are, after all, human, being vulnerable and bare, in hopes we can connect with others who are like-minded. We long for connection and inclusion.